Hello, I'm Amy. In the past week, we just had a 5-day holiday, labor holiday in China. It sounds very nice, right? But in fact, we didn't have 5 days holiday. We borrowed last Saturday. So we had to make the Saturday up. We call it swap or shift day. So we just had a weekend of 1 day, Sunday. This phenomenon in China has been a long time, and it happens to most of our big holidays or festivals. And every year, lots of people complain, but for lots of reasons, we still have this regulation. I guess lots of people cannot understand, especially I have seen lots of foreigners in China. They give their opinions. Most of them don't like. Personally, I don't like either. I prefer normal holidays and normal weekends. Okay, anyway, that's not the topic I would like to talk about today. I would like to share the complex relationship between the parents and the children in China. The parents love and control over their children. This has always been a controversial topic inside China. I'll use a true story that my friend just told me during the labor holiday. It's quite long. Allow me to share with you. May 5th, Tuesday. Today is the last day of the holiday. At around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, my daughter was writing the last bit homework. I started to prepare dinner, and suddenly I received a message from a good friend saying that she came back from Chengdu to Luoyang for labor holiday, and she will leave 7 o'clock tomorrow. I joked about how can she inform me at the last minute. But I still suggested we can meet in the evening and have a drink. She said, okay. So 6:30 in the evening, we met at a 7-Eleven near where I live. And she told me that she was very tired these days and she didn't want to come back, but her parents called her and insisted that she come back because her parents in their 70s have been taking care of her grandmother in her 90s every day and they feel very tired. Her parents said they have no time to themselves, so she came back this holiday so they could relax for a few days. And I was a little bit surprised after hearing this because she needs more than 10 hours of train and more than 1,000 for the ticket. Her grandma is in her 90s and usually she uses a wheelchair, but her health is okay. And her parents and her grandma live together in Luoyang where I lived. So normally her parents take care of her grandma. But most time her parents still can go out, dancing, shopping, do some sports. But in March this year, her grandma went downstairs alone to have a walk in the community, of course, in the wheelchair. And when she saw the wild vegetables in the community, she bent down in a wheelchair to dig wild vegetables and broke her arm. Her grandma got home by herself at last. At that time, her mom told her sister, who was far away in Shenzhen, and then her sister called her. So she called back her parents, and after asking, she felt that her grandma's arm was serious. So she called the ambulance to take her grandma to hospital. Her parents was not happy. They told her through the phone it was not necessary to call an ambulance. They can take a taxi to send her grandma to hospital. After 10 days in the hospital, her grandma went back home because she had a broken arm and needed someone to help her to eat and go to toilet. So she and her sister pursued their parents to hire a nanny because their parents' age and it won't be easy for them. So it cost a little bit money, but it could make their life easier. And she and her sister will pay the nanny because she knew that her parents were reluctant to spend money. As a result, the nanny came for a week and her parents asked the nanny to go home, saying that the nanny didn't do lots of job and it was not necessary and it was kind of waste of money. The nanny got paid around 100 yuan a day. So they said they can save the money and they could take care of her grandma. But after that, they often called my friend and her sister to complain, saying that they've been so tired to take care of her grandma all day long, and she was really angry and speechless. Obviously, you can ask Annie to take care of the grandma, you still can have your own life. But her parents always want to save money, and the most important thing is that her parents are not short of money. Her parents used to do business, buy stocks, buy shops. They have savings and they have a good income every month, but they are just reluctant to spend money, and they always like to make trouble for themselves and for their kids. I really understand my friends. I felt a little bit sad and pity for her. But as I know her parents in their 70s, their generation maybe has experienced poverty. So even if they have money now, they are always reluctant or afraid to spend the money. Saving money is their deep perception with stability and security. I have heard lots of this kind of parents from the people I know and from internet. And then I joked with her, your grandma is your parents' responsibility and you have your own family. She said, yes, of course she knows. She really hopes her parents know this. But her parents don't think so. In their logic, her parents are very traditional and typical parents. They just want their children to take care of them. They will feel happy because they feel that they have given birth to children and they raise them up. They have given everything for their children. So when they are old and they need their children must do the same thing to meet their needs. And they think this is natural. Sending parents to nursery homes or hiring nannies to take care of them is not as good as taking care of their own children. And if the child does this, it is unfilial and ungrateful. 孝顺. This word is hard to translate into English because I guess in the English word there has no this kind of concept. But in China, it's a number one thing for the children to their parents. On the Qingming festival in April, her sister came back from Shenzhen for a week. So this May Day, Labor holiday, is her turn back. Me and my friends were high school classmates. We have known each other for nearly 30 years, and I used to go to her house a lot. But I really didn't expect my friend grew up in such a family environment. And then she told me that her parents have always been like this. Just I didn't know. From childhood to adulthood, everything has to be taken care of her. What to eat, what to dress, what kind of person to make friends, what school to go, what work to do, and getting married when she grows up. For the sake of her parents' happiness, she got married. It's her parents arranged her to blind date a man, and they said the young man was good and he had a good job. But they divorced in a year. And now this is her second marriage. She met her husband at work, and she was brief that time. Opposite her parents thinking, she married him in Chengdu, but her parents still often called her since they really cared her, but in fact they really just want to control her. For example, her parents often call and say that she doesn't have a serious, proper job. In her parents' logic, only working in government department is an official work. Even though she was a tour guide and had her own company, she made more money than most people who worked in a company or official job. But her parents were not satisfied because she didn't listen or follow their thinking to have a job in government departments. She told me that she was really helpless and tired, but she has no way. Because the neutral kindness of her parents, she can never pay back in her life. And her parents are getting so old, and she doesn't want them feel sad, and she doesn't want to disappoint them. So she has to follow and listen to them. Just like she grew up, she could do everything her parents asked her to do for her parents' happiness, but she couldn't be herself. That's the true story of my friends, and that's not a special case. In China, they have so many parents like this. They do things for the kids' good and use the name of love, but they really try to control the kids, and they can give the kids everything, but they would never let the kids be an individual, independent. I am Chinese, and I have to accept this is the truth. Not every parents, but they have so many. And in China, the parents are number one authorities. Most of the time, the kids have to listen and follow the parents' thinking and agreements for their life. Even though sometimes they want to against, but think about the kindness of raising up of the parents. They just give up to be themselves. They just follow their parents' thinking, just like my friend. And I have to say, as a Chinese girl, I am very lucky. My dad never tried to control me, or he even never tried to interfere with my school life and adult life. He always gave me the choice. His thinking is kind of like most Western parents. My life, my choice. This situation, the relationship between the parents and child in China is kind of frustrating. But I believe as the influence gradually decreased generation by generation, this could be changed. You can tell me your opinion about this. Okay, it doesn't matter where you are. Have a good Monday. Have a good week.